Hi, we just finished meeting for pronunciation practice on Monday, April 24th. I knew that. The verb has stress on the second syllable for proceed, and the pro is not stressed, so you can pronounce it with a proceed, or a because it's not stressed and it's going to be more likely to change to and going to be shorter duration, proceed. But the noun, you have to use the o, proceeds means profit. Proceeds. Imagine. Imagine that. Imagine and that have the same vowel ah. So it's good to practice together. Imagine that. Formative. Formative. The T changes to a D. And then we practice these together. Coat with a T that you won't hear, and code with a D that you won't hear. Cold with a D you won't hear, and call with an L you do hear. So if you just say the word by itself, coat, or where's my coat, if it's at the end of the sentence, you'll just hold your tongue in the T position, coat. And number 7, code. So they go to the same position, the T and the D behind the top teeth. When the word ends with a voiceless sound, like a T, I'm sorry to be puffing the air, coat, then the vowel is going to be a little bit shorter duration. If the last sound is a voiced sound like D, D, then the vowel will be a tiny bit longer. It is a tiny difference, but it is something that helps tell the difference. Number 6, coat. Number 7, code. Coat, code, coat, code. That's it. You will hear the final sound if the next word begins with a vowel and it connects. It's cold outside, doubt. I have a cold, then it's at the end and you just hold it, cold. And if it's cold, you have to hold the L position for a longer duration than you think you need to, probably, so that the L can be heard. Because if you can't hear the L, number 8, cold, will sound like number 7, code. So you're going, the L and the D are made in the same place. So it's very easy just to stop making sound and make it cold. Then it sounds like number 7, coal. Oh, keep making the L noise for a little longer. Cold. That's it. Call. It ends with the L, so you do have to hold the L for longer. And now the vowel is ah. So you have to open and keep the lips straight. Ah, call. Call me, please. And misty. This I put on here more to help with vocabulary because it's kind of a unusual word when you want to describe. It's not totally raining, raindrops. I don't need an umbrella, but there's a little bit of water in the air. I can feel it on my face. Then it's misty. Um, and the T stays a T because the S before it is voiceless. So there's no vibration, no sound in the throat. T. So this rule of when does a T change to a D, usually people just say the T has to be between two voiced sounds, but it's not always that easy, or it's not just always vowels. It could be an R. So the vowel that comes before it really has more control of what happens after it. So s is voiceless. So if your voice is off, leave it off, and the T letter will sound like a T sound. Misty. And let's say, for example, if I change this word to a fake word, murdy, I know my brain knows that I should guess that it's murdy because my voice is on for the R, mur, and then I leave it on, and the tongue goes to the same position, but now it's going to make a D when I release it, murdy. So if your voice is on, I should have made a bigger difference here. If your voice is on, leave it on, and then the letter T will sound like a D. And yes, it's a flap, technically. It's a very short but if you voice a T, it's going to sound like a D. Murdy. So that's why that rule is there. Let me change this back to a real word, misty. And appear, appear. Peas. Looks like an S, sounds like a Z. Green beans. I made these both stressed. Green beans. with a Z. Looks like an S, sounds like a Z. Individualistic. Individualistic. Dun 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 dun. The vowel is I, and I usually use IH to represent the I vowel as in hit, so that it's not confused with an E as in he. Individualistic. Close knit. This is an S that sounds like an S. Close knit. We're a close knit family. And the question was asked, when you say we're, does it have to be we're? Like we're with your tongue very high in the E position, or can it be we're? And that it can be, yes, because you don't have to have a perfect high E position. If your tongue is just a little more relaxed, it comes down a little lower, and it will sound like I. So this is the slight difference between eat and it. You can say really perfectly we're eat, or we're it, where, we're, but you can't say were, because that's the like her, and that's a whole different word, like where we were there. We're, 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 yeah, were. So you don't have to try to make number 17. If you are trying for number 16 always, then that's good. It's always going to be correct. And then if you're just being a little more relaxed, it will automatically change and lower to the I. So you don't have to be too careful. Verbalize, verbalize, verbalize. Start with a good V. And age and H can sound very similar if you don't make the final sound more different. Age has a J, which is voiced. And the letter H, if you were spelling like my name, CH, has a voiceless ch. So the J and the ch are made exactly the same. Your tongue is stopping the airflow and releasing it. And J has sound, ch does not, voicing, they have sound. We age every day. Age every. H. Itch. So if you're spelling and you have the letter H to spell, make sure you're also using a good vowel A at the beginning, because if you don't and it sounds more like I, it'll sound like itch. And then that's a whole different word, like itchy. Each. Now this is the same difference with E and I as we had here with we're and we're. So each. Oh, I looked right at it and said the wrong one. Itch. I have an itch right here. Each. And this one we didn't do together. Um, I wasn't thinking Isaac Newton. Now that I'm in Boston, I think of the little city Newton. Newton, which is a good practice for syllabic in. Newton. Ooh. Isaac Newton. All right. I seem to struggle more today, maybe because it's Monday. Thanks. If you were here, it was really good practice with a lot of people, and I hope to see you again next Monday, or maybe tomorrow or Wednesday. Thanks, and have a good night.